The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. I start the day like we usually do, looking at Europe, especially the UK, which is Europe, and also the Germany, which is also Europe. Both of those markets started to rally good. It looks like the market is ready to accept someone as a president. Doesn't look like, doesn't really care, but it's still early in the game, boys and girls, and these things change rapidly. Well, unusually, we end the show here at TFNN right around 5 o'clock, but last night we were there all night long trading, folks. It was quite exciting. We had some wonderful setups. It looked really good. The one that we really had a lot of fun with, I'll post this here so you'll be able to see it. This was the silver market. And I want you to pay very, very close attention because you see the low there at 23.40. Well, that was happening. I had the opportunity to post the artificial intelligence program that I use, and I brought that up so the folks could see it. And you'll see that it hit absolutely spot on at that 23.40, 50 level, and then it's rallied a whole dollar, which was really good. But the one that was the most exciting of all, of course, was the Treasury bond market, folks. This one had a move that you don't see very often, because we went down and we made the ABCD3 drive to a bottom pattern down there at that 70 level, and we rallied all the way up. We rallied up to 75, folks. That was 5 handles. That's a $5,000 move in the Treasury bond. Fortunately, we were able to get out of it and leave quite a bit of it to some of the other traders, but that was a really good one that worked out pretty good. And so whether that's going to continue or not, I don't know. But, these markets are certainly active, and they're telling us that something big is happening. And the swings in the dollar, folks, yesterday, the euro, we ended up getting stopped out of that for a very small loss, and then it dropped 150 points. That's a huge drop in the euro. Then what did it do? It came right back up again. So we're seeing some incredible volatility in these markets. So remember, if you're not trading with stops, folks, you're really you're doing yourself a great disservice, and you don't want to really get involved. Now, if you'll remember here, if you look at the forecast that we were looking at for with the Elliott Wave, and I'm not knocking Elliott Wave. I'm just saying that they were saying that if the market was up, it was a strong favorite for Trump. It doesn't look like he's going to make it. And so just because, and that's, we do this all the time. I'm wrong as much as I'm wrong. Well, I'm a little right more than I'm wrong, but you got to remember that you're not going to be right all the time. You got to prepare yourself to do, to trade defensively. And that's the whole key, to be watching, is to use that defensive trading. That's the whole thing that you want to be looking at. If you remember last night, those of you that get the videos that I sent out that beautiful ABCD that we had up there at 33.85. Well, the market dropped 35 handles after that, folks. And then what did it do? It went right back up again. So it's just really it's really amazing, the markets that we're seeing now. Look at this move that we've had here in the S&P, and this is going back to the high we made back there on the 11th of October. We came down. We finally made a 61% retracement there. That number came in at 34.28, folks, and I think that's been the high today so far in the AS. So that's an important one to look at. And another one overnight that looks very, very promising from a long-term standpoint, and that is if you take a look at this NASDAQ. The NASDAQ went right up to a 61% retracement. Folks, it went from 11,560, all the way up to 17,774. without stopping. It went 200 points. This was about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, our time here, and it was just really. And then of course it dropped 100 points, very, 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 very fast. And it's up $10,000 today almost on a swing. But that's not for the faint of heart. And who knows? By the end of the day, it could be down $10,000. You don't know, but they're having some monster swings over there, and yet the VIX is doing nothing. So we're seeing some wild things. The main thing to pay attention to, from my perspective, is to watch what's happening to these Treasury notes. Because if we turn around and go back below 70, all heck is going to pay, because that's telling us that interest rates are going higher and not lower. But boy, as of last night, it certainly looked like they were going to be higher until we hit that 170 level and hit that 3 drive to a bottom pattern. And that's what turned everything loose, in my opinion, because you started to see huge moves in the euro, big moves in gold. Gold was trading. We had a sell order, folks, on the sad side of it. We had a sell order to sell the December gold at 19.19. It got to 19.18 and broke $38 straight down. And we were not on that train, but we just missed it. We had the ticket, but the conductor wouldn't punch it. So that's what's happening. Now, today at the break, we're going to have Alan. He calls himself Lucky Quartermain, will be our guest. And he's a friend from back at the old days at Conti Commodity. We started together there, and he liked Westlake Village so much he bought 2 houses. And that's when we became very good friends, and we've been friends ever since. We're going to talk just a little bit about his life today, and then hopefully, if I can convince him, we'll get him on maybe once a month to tell us some of the things he's looking at, because, folks, he does some incredible work with charts. He spent his whole life looking at this stuff, and he really does a good job at looking at some of these markets. So hopefully will give us some ideas of what we're watching here. Now, let's move on to one other thing that is really important. We were chatting about it yesterday in the market, and it's important to bring it to your attention again, and that is the natural gas here, folks. We want to get this up here so you folks can talk about it. If you remember yesterday when we were at the 61% retracement there at 310, we said something was not right. And look, we went below the 78% level today. We're trading at about, I think, 303 right now, somewhere in that ballpark. But with that triple top that we've had up there in the natural gas, that tells us this has got to do some more work before it can get back above that. Those of you that are in the wheat trade that we put on this week, that's still working nicely. And keep your stop at break even. That way you don't put a you don't want to lose anything, folks. People ask me about taking profits, folks. I know you at one time they had this $1,200 profit in it, and I think now it's got about a $700 profit. But I don't know where these things are going to go. And I keep telling people that, but they don't believe me. So all I try to do is focus on, not losing too much. And sometimes you get some nice ones, and sometimes you don't. But someone asked the question, why didn't we sell the wheat at 6.15? I said, well, that's okay. But what if it goes to 6.25 or 6.30, where we think it's going to go? You want to give up that $1,000? And all you're doing is it's not costing you anything, because you're in a risk-free trade. So that's what I try to do. Don't always get it done that way, but that's what I'm trying to do. 877-927-6648.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, I'm back, folks, and I know there's a lot of things going on in the market and stuff with the election and the earnings and all the things that are going on. But folks, I'm a technician. I don't really look at that stuff. I watched some of the results coming in last night, all night long. But basically, what I was trying to do was to try to find what we would think to be is a good entry point for possibly finding a buy or sell. That's all I was looking on, and I that's all I was doing. I mean, we happened to get lucky in bonds and silver and crude oil, but that doesn't mean that because I'm in those things for maybe just a half a day or 3 hours or 5 minutes. I don't know. Because it's the risk that I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I don't really understand, all the things that people talk about. I heard Tommy talking about all the fundamental things that were going on. And frankly, if I had to try to figure out what's going on there, I'd get back to the old bird cage and start cleaning those out again, because that's just way beyond my pay grade to try to figure that stuff out. Now, one of the things that give me 1 second, folks, I've got to do something here to help the old, hold on 1 second here. Give me a second. What did I do with, there we go. Now we're in business here. I'm communicating with Tom Hugard right now, and I wanted to get this up here and see what's moving. Okay, we got that much taken care of. But let's take a quick look at what we talked about just a day or two ago, because what this really means on the long term of what we're looking at, no matter who's elected or anything, there's going to be some great opportunities up and down. You can see the swings that we had. This is going back to, oh, wow, my gosh, you're going way back into the 70s. So you had the Reagan, Bush, Obama, Clinton, Obama, and then, but look at this. Look at these big swings we're having. A lot of fundamentals change within that time frame. So what we're doing is we're looking at a bar chart to see whether it's going to up or not. And when I heard Tommy say, how does anybody figure out, what's going on? And I typed into the den, I know what's going on. There's more buyers than sellers because the market was going straight up. That's all I needed to know. Who knows what the fundamentals could be? And they might be wrong. At that particular time, they were right. Right now, if they bought that thing at 34.22, now they're sitting with a loss. So that's pretty much, yeah, that's the old trading places, sell, 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 buy, buy, buy. It's buyers and sellers are different fellers, but that's the way it goes. All right, let's move on to a couple of things about the astrology. Frankly, I don't know whether it's going to come out or not, but this would be the first time that Mr. Winsky might have called it wrong, and we still love him. We're still going to have him on. But we'll see how that's going on. However, Stan Harley's got it right. He said a 70-year-old white male would win the election. It looks like he's going to be right. So we'll see what's going to happen here. The TLT had made a major bottom there, boys and girls. We talked about that a lot. That was the thing in the bonds. At the time the bonds were doing that, it was making an absolute beautiful 3-drive to a bottom pattern, just it's about as clear as you can be. I'm going to put, and this was after it had hit. You see, we went from 170, we hit 175 last night, and then we backed off a little bit. That we're trading around 174 and change, but that was a huge move. And we didn't take all of it. We took a nice piece out of it, but we don't expect to take it all out. There's just no other way to figure that. I've never met anybody that takes the whole thing of every move. I've never met that person, and maybe I will someday. But maybe it'll be Alan. No, even he doesn't do that. So that's going to be interesting here. We'll have him on here in about 8 minutes to take a look at it. The other thing is the coffee, folks, is not holding up very well. There was a buy there at that 104 level. So if you got in the coffee, I haven't checked it this morning, but I believe the coffee is starting to spill over in the jug, as they say, and we'll have to look at it at a lower price. But I hadn't checked it yet this morning, but the last price I did check was at 102.50, and I think we went below that level. And I believe that was the buying at 104. We didn't want it to get below that 102.50, and I think if it did that, then we certainly should be out of it. But I haven't seen any notification. I don't trade it. I'm just looking at it. So yeah, we're at 103.63. So did it get below 102.50, Bob? Could you please let me know that, because I don't have it here. I can't really reach to it or get to it now with working in the room like I am right now. So that's a more harder thing. Okay, 132.55. Well, that's why the alarm never went off, I guess. So if it gets below that 102.50, it's no good. And with the low being 102.55, the last being 103.60, it's still valid, but it's underwater a penny right now. But these markets are moving really rapidly on some of these things. So, when you have swings like we're seeing in the S&P last night, folks, I'll bet you, I haven't figured it out, but I'll bet you we had well over a 300-point swing in the S&P with the big up and down movement we had. I know the swings we had in the NASDAQ were off the charts, because we rallied all the way up to 1774, and that was the exact 61% retracement. And by the time the beeper went off, it only went off one time. And by the time I looked up and saw, because I didn't stay in front of the machine all night long, but I would wait for the alerts to go off. By the time I got to the machine, I didn't hear the alert, but I saw the alert go off, and then I was already 150 points lower. So there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, then what to do? Drop another 400 points. So we're having tremendous swings, and that's what you like to see. But you'd like to be able to get in on some of them. And you're going to get some you're not, some you're going to. Now, I'm going to post something here that you think you guys are going to like, because this is the silver bar that came out of the wreck from 1672 that Alan's going to be talking about. We'll show it up a little bit better here when we look at the scroll that from the diving company. He'll tell you all about it. I don't want to get into his stuff. And then he's going to share with us a story about his 65-foot teakwood yacht that was just absolutely a really incredible piece of machinery. And then we're going to talk to him about one other thing, and then maybe we'll chat with him about the markets just a little bit. But he's a fun guy, and we'll certainly enjoy that. Folks, if I've ever tried to bring something to your attention, now is the time you should do it, because these are incredibly volatile days that we're having last night and today, and it's probably going to get worse. So even though you have an opinion on a market, remember, everybody has an opinion. It's just like an armpit. So who knows? Sometimes they go up and sometimes they go down, but that's it. We'll see. Well, anyway, thanks, Terry. That was a good one. Anyway, let's move. What is looks like Larry's Breaking Bad. I guess you were trying to say Breaking Bad. No, I never saw that series. I didn't. I never saw any of the Breaking Bad series, but again, I never saw a Seinfeld episode. I saw pieces of Seinfeld episodes, but I never saw it. The only time I knew anything about Seinfeld was in 1988 at the Dodger game against the Athletics. He was sitting right behind us, and I didn't. Everybody was saying, "Oh, there's Jerry Seinfeld." I didn't know who he was. 877-927-6648. Let's stay tuned for Alan, Mr. Lucky Quarterbain.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Alan living the dream Quartermain. Did you ever think 50 years would go by this fast, Bubba?
Are we live on TV or radio?
We is it. I just sat down Seinfeld and I said, look, we're taking over the show today. But boys and girls, this is Alan, Mr. Lucky Quartermain, and we met in 1970 when they opened the Conti Commodity Office in West LA on the 20th floor, and he met Sparky the fireman who lived in Westlake Village. And before the day was over, I think you bought one or two houses in Westlake, didn't you, Alan? Because I know you had one, but did you buy two or not?
I can't keep count, Larry.
Oh, there were that many of them. Okay, I'm sorry. I should have known that. Hey, listen.
That's not including. It's not including the tent from Sears.
Yeah. Well, you've never had a job either, other than being a captain in the Army. Is that right?
That was my last official job.
Wow.
I was the designated cower in the 101st Airborne Division.
Well, is that when you won the 2 silver stars and the Congressional Medal of Honor?
That's right, and the badge of courage.
That's what I thought. Hey, listen, Chief, we've posted this thing about this spelunking, or not spelunking, but this stuff with the captain's pirate's treasure and stuff. Folks, the first time I saw this silver bar, he was using it as a doorstop at one of your homes. I forget. Was it the one in? Well, I think it was Italy that you were using, or Florida. I don't remember.
No. Do you want to hear the story of the silver bar?
Go right ahead, my friend. You've got it.
Okay, so I got involved. I've always been a sailor. I tried to make the America's Cup crew, and they laughed because of my size. Those guys are bigger than linebackers. But at any rate, I've always been a sailor. But I bought a motor yacht instead to live aboard in San Diego, which was 65 feet. It was a beautiful boat. And I decided I was going to be a treasure diver, which I know absolutely nothing about. And to me, swimming is survival in the water. But at any rate, I got involved with it. I took my pop to Florida, where we went to the Mel Fisher Museum in Key West, and where I met Duncan Matheson, who was the archaeologist on the find for the Western Day of Atocha. A terrific guy, brilliant, and we became friends. I never got involved with treasure diving, fortunately. And he called me. He had a little bit of financial difficulty, and he needed a loan. So I said, well, do you have any collateral? And he said, sure, I'll give you a silver bar from the Atocha, which will weigh 72 pounds. And I said, fine, I'll send you $5,000 or $6,000. And when you give me back my money, no interest, I'll be delighted to give you back your silver bar. So he sent me the bar, and the mailman came down to the end of my marina dock and said, Alan, I can't bring this, whatever the heck it is, it's too heavy. So I had to go to the post office and pick up a silver ingot bar at 72 pounds. At any rate, got the silver bar. Never heard from Duncan again. Hopefully he's alive and well. And I had this silver bar and about $5,000 or $6,000 tied up in it. And it was just as I said, it was a doorstop on my boat. And when I would have dinner parties, which I had often, it was a beautiful boat, and I would say, I was on the National Geographic special. Everybody at the dinner party would say, and I said, I have a film of it, the tape. So I would play the tape, and of course I was never part of that expedition. But they would be disappointed. Where were you? We didn't see you on this. And then I would take from behind the sofa, I'd pull out this 72-pound bar and drop it in the center of the salon. Everybody would scream, look, it's a silver bar from the Atocha. Long story short is that recently a friend of mine called me from Washington State and said, listen, silver is doing well. It was around 25 or 26 at the time. And you ought to try and peddle it. So I called Heritage Auctions down in Dallas. They're all over the world. Very reputable auction house. And they said, we'd be delighted to have it. We'll pay for shipping and insurance, and we'll guarantee you $15,000 as an opening bid. So I said, fine, and because this silver bar has just been sitting. Well, at any rate, it went off, and the auction was in the daytime, and the internet auction closed at 18. I was just 18,000. I was very disappointed. But then my cousin called and said, hey, listen, the rest of the auction is tonight by telephone and live. So it went off at $33,300. So I made a couple bucks on it, which was great. And it was an
Wow.
adventure, and I still have the tape and pictures of the silver bar, which I sent to Larry.
Yeah, well, that's good. We posted it into the room so everybody can see it. Alan, tell the story about the boat when you took it from San Diego down to Puerto Vallarta. That
Oh,
to
my
me is
gosh.
funny.
Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh.
that is really funny. So,
Well, funny in hindsight. At any rate, the story there goes, I don't want to be precocious, but I really could write a book and a screenplay about this life I've lived. I'm almost 80 years old. I've never been married. I've been kissed a couple of times, and that's about as close as I've gotten. But at any rate, I had this motor yacht and a good crew, a couple of young fellows, 26, who was a dive master, and a 18-year-old who was a world-class sport fisherman. And we put this trip together. We're going to Cuba. We're going to go down by Mexico and then through the Panama Canal and through some very hostile areas. So I don't have the ability, I quickly learned, to do this, but we were off. But before we left, I decided I needed to be properly armed, having been ex-military and so forth. And so I had some serious weaponry on the boat. I had 3 or 4 long guns. I had stainless shotgun, a couple of handguns. I had 10,000 rounds of ammunition. I had a case of stun grenades, a case of fragmentation grenades. And so I was ready because, I've been out on in the middle of the ocean and there ain't no police department. And, you're on your own. And these pirates know what they're doing. So at any rate, all of this armament and ammunition were hidden in the walls, and only I knew where it could be found. Because I didn't want my crew to, become frightened and if we had any authorities on the boat, give up the boat and me. At any rate, we left and we made our way down to Mag Bay, where we broke down and had fuel problems, contaminated fuel. I ended up without my crew with one Costa Rican fellow, Jose, who I picked up in a bar, which was stupid, as a crew member, and I made my way limping into Puerto Vallarta and stayed at the Puerto Vallarta Marina, which is an upscale marina. And on a Sunday, we pulled in, and I called my buddy who lives in San Miguel de Allende, and he came in for dinner. And we went out that evening for dinner, and I left Jose on the foredeck and said, just keep an eye on the boat. That's your job. So when I came back that evening, the boat had around 15 heavily armed Mexican black outfitted fellows with some automatic weapons. And they said, I thought, oh, my goodness, Jose must have killed somebody. And I came up to the boat.
Alan, we got to pay some bills here. This is a commercial for about 3 minutes. Stay with us, would you please?
You bet.
Alan Quartermain on the line, folks. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily, S&P 500, Bull and Bear, leveraged ETFs. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, we're back, folks, with my friend Alan. He's telling us about his escapades down in Puerto Vallarta with the Federales. So you want to finish the story, Alan?
Yes. So at any rate, we limped into Puerto Vallarta and had dinner that evening, Sunday evening, with my pal who came in from Mexico. And came back, and the boat had about 15 Federale type heavily armed fellas, and they said, I thought there was a problem, and they said, we need to search your boat. And I said to them, listen, I came from the north. I don't have narcotics. They said, we must search the boat. So I reluctantly allowed, they wanted to send a whole crew on, and Mexico, they can drop a narcotic on the boat and take the boat and put you in jail forever. So I said, oh, no, only one man with my crew member and one man with me so I can watch them. At any rate, they searched the boat for an hour. I held my breath, scared to death, and they left. Mexico, if people don't know, is a very lawless country. I swear that my pal and I finished one bottle of Johnny Walker Scotch after they left. We were so frightened. At any rate, the next day I went out for a morning jog. My pal went off to a business meeting. I came back and looked down at the dock, and now there were 2 Army trucks in the area of the dock. There was a helicopter above my boat. There was a gunship behind my boat, and now there were about 35 seriously armed Mexicans. And I stupidly went down to the boat. I should have just gone right to the airport and taken off. But I went down to the boat, and now the general was there, the jefe, and he says, now, Capitan, we must search this boat good. Oh, incidentally, 2 dog teams and 2 dive teams on the dock. So I thought, oh, my God. And my heart was beating out of my chest. At any rate, they searched the boat, and I was afraid that the dogs could smell the oil in the gunpowder, but they're apparently trained for narcotics, which I told my crew I don't want one marijuana cigarette on this boat. So they searched for about an hour and a half, and they looked at all of my documents, and I'm scared to death in the pilot house, which is a good-sized pilot house with 2 radars and sonar and everything else. At any rate, I had a carpenter build a stoop right by the steering wheel, which had a secret button. If you press the button, the stoop would flip and open up to a not a stainless steel shotgun with about 10 rounds on the barrel. And the general had his foot on this step, and he said, oh, Capitan, do you have any guns on this boat? And I then played the fool and said, yes, I do. And I took out my SOS gun, flare gun, And I said, here's my gun. And he said, no, Capitan, guns. And I started to argue with him. I said, this is a gun, trying to act as dumb as possible. And he finally was frustrated and said, that is not a gun. And they left. When they left, this whole entourage left. Within 10 minutes, maybe 15, I said to my neighbor on the boat next door in the next dock, listen, if anything happens on my boat, please call me in San Diego. I got to the airport within 20 minutes, took off, hid in San Diego for about a week to 2 weeks, didn't hear from my neighbor, called my old trusted crew out of San Francisco. We flew down at 11 o'clock at night. We got on the boat at 12 o'clock, heated up the engines, made ready, released the lines at 1, and deadheaded straight to San Diego over the next 2 days and 2 nights, and pulled into San Diego. And the next morning I went to the boat broker. I said, sell it for whatever you can get for it. I am out of the boating business now. And I haven't been back to Mexico since 1999, so that's 21 years. Don't intend to go back either.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I hate to change the subject, buddy, but you've been studying these markets. You've made your livelihood from this. Is there any market that looks really interesting to you now, Alan? I mean, folks, you can't believe the amount of work this young man does, because he has well, he's not young. He's 6 months older than me. But, Alan, you've done a lot of work. Is there anything that's on your radar that you're really looking at longer term that might be interesting to the folks?
You know, Larry, I'm not good at giving as such tips or whatever. The only thing I can say is that I have a method of investing and trading. Sometimes it lasts 5 minutes. Sometimes it lasts 5 weeks, the trade. And it is revolved around the use of Fibonacci, which is paramount to understanding how these things move. I am 110% technical. I try to avoid the fundamentals because I find them I'm not smart enough to decipher or understand them, and they're only confusing to me. So, no, I can't say that I could say with any assuredness that there's a trade that I would recommend right now. I don't like to do that anyhow.
Okay.
But yes, go ahead, Larry.
No, I said that's fine. I didn't want to put you on the spot because, I know when you and I talk, it's sort of like, we're like brothers. But I just thought maybe these poor folks out here at TFNN, they're just trying to, 10 times make $1. Most of them are starving to death, and we were hoping you might be able to feed a few families. But if you don't want to help the folks, that's okay, Alan. I understand. No, hey, I'm just pulling your chain, buddy. I didn't want to put you on the spot, and I should have talked to you about this ahead of time because I know the quality of the work and how you value it, and I apologize, buddy.
No, you don't have to apologize. But I would strongly urge that there was a time for many, many years I used bar charts, and I find candlestick charts to be much, much more beneficial. So I would suggest that Nissan's book, I think his name is Nissan. His book. Yeah, Steve Nissan. Yeah, I would. You couldn't get me to use bar charts anymore. Strictly a candlestick, but candlestick alone is not the answer. Candlestick. It's multiple techniques in order to be a technician of any success.
Yeah, I know. Can you remember the days back in Westlake Village when we used to get our charts from Commodity Perspectives delivered by special delivery on Saturday morning? That seems like
I remember the good old days when I was beginning in the business. I was strictly a commodities trader. I was not successful. And there was a day when we used to have the clicking board numbers up in the front of the room, and you would just constantly hear. We would hear this clicking. There were no computers, and we had paper charts. We used pencils. It was unbelievable. And a funny story, which I was trading, I guess at Conti or Clayton, and I was in pork bellies, and pork bellies were, I was long pork bellies, and they were up the limit, and I said to everyone in the office, let's go to lunch. It's on me at Monty's Steakhouse across the street. Remember that place, Larry?
Yep, I sure do, right on Westwood Boulevard, you bet.
Yep, it was up on the roof. And I took everybody to lunch, and I was up limit on pork bellies, and I came back and looked up at the board, and I said, what's wrong with the board? And the head broker said, we have a little problem. The bellies are down at the limit now. So instead of making about $28,000. I was down $28,000 for the trade. That's a true story.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me before too, pal. That's for sure. Hey, listen, the time on the wall says we've used too much of your time, but maybe one of these days down in the future we can chat with you some more. Would you be willing to do that?
I'd love to, Larry. Anything,
hey, listen,
I love it, pal.
And be safe wherever you are. Are you in the south of France or are you in Florence? Where are you? You still in the United States?
I'm in Camden, New Jersey right now with my doors locked.
All right, folks. We'll be right
back.
Bye. 877-927-6648.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, the main thing from my perspective, just looking at the chart, is I posted the chart of the 4-hour NASDAQ. You can see the high that we made overnight was exact 61% retracement. We've had 2 lower highs now. That makes it a 1-3-5 pattern until we get above 18,000 in the NASDAQ. I think you have to look to the bearish side. You might have to look at it for every 5 minutes, but that's my assumption that that's what's going to happen, and we'll have to go from there. I don't know when the election results will be official, but no matter what happens, we're going to move on, and we'll continue to function, hopefully, as a free society, but, who knows. think we're going to be okay, actually. And markets are telling us we're going to be okay, so that's a good thing. And the big money's not usually wrong very often, so we need to pay very close attention to that. Also, folks, we need to watch the U.S. dollar, because if the euro gets above that 118, 119 level, that's going to be really negative for the U.S. dollar, and that means interest rates are going to be going higher. And to keep an eye on those bonds, because if they go below 170 in those bonds now, woo-wee, that's not good. That's bye-bye. So pay very, very close attention to those. Those are the ones that are really doing it. And also try to do something for, I don't have a chance to look at the hogs today, Ruby, but they've been up at this 66 level for quite some time. But there's too many other things moving really good, Ruby, to look at the hogs. So I have to stick with the ones that I know the best, and they've been treating us pretty good. So that's what I'm going to continue doing. You know what, Ruby? I shouldn't have said that because you're so sweet. I'm going to bring those hogs up just so you can take a quick look at them. Give me a second here. Hopefully I'll get them up before the thing on the wall goes off. Where is it? There we are. We got it right here. Now just all I got to do is get to the daily and we'll be all right. Yeah, we're trading at 165. I think they're in a buy mode, Ruby. I mean, that's they've held that level for quite a while, so they're right down at the buy level. Just one second, we'll get it up here so you can take a look at it. And there they are. They're trading at 65.40. The buy came in at around 64. That was a 78% level, so it's holding up relatively well. It's been down for 10 days, so it's very oversold. We'll see you all tomorrow, folks. 877-927-6648.